Hi YouTube, what's up? This is going to be a video about being a caricature artist, at least in upstate New York anyway. It's about 16 degrees here, and I'm going to get driving here in a minute, and I'll flip the camera around, and I'll chat about being a caricature artist as we're driving. Take you along for the ride, all right? Number one thing is it's probably an overlooked genre or category of art as far as making a living at it, and you can make a living at it. I do it part-time right now because I still got one foot in the day job and one foot in the caricature job. Trying to make it full-time though, but anyway, if you're going to be an artist, a caricature artist, and one of the essentials is Tom Richmond's Mad Art of Caricature. You're going to want to go get this. This is your Bible. Very important stuff here that you're looking at. You're going to have to draw a lot of bad caricatures to start drawing some good ones. So he goes over everything here. I just got back from Orlando from one of Tom Richmond's caricature workshops. You're going to want to go to one of these if you're really serious about it. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about head shape, how important the head shape is. It was great just to be around other artists too, because where I am in upstate New York, there's only two other guys, maybe three, who are doing it, and they've been doing it way longer than me. Me about 5 years. Those guys are 20 years plus. So sorry if I'm freezing cold here. I don't know if you can hear me over the heater because it's upstate New York in February. So I'm gonna get driving here. I'm just going to hit on a few things. All right. So, yeah. I was a traditional oil painter, landscape, still life, and whatnot. My parents sent me to a little private art school here after school on Fridays, and that's what I learned. You learn charcoal, pastel, and then some oil paintings. But, the oil paintings would go to friends and family. They never were really flying off the shelves. Not that I was doing it to make money, but I did a painting for somebody. It was one of my favorite ones. And I go to their house, and it's in their bathroom. I'm like, oh, great. Awesome spot for that. So then I kind of realized, what connects with people, what creates a reaction, and what would people be interested in? People are interested in themselves, and art, the art of caricature, can do that. And so I highly recommend it. I highly recommend looking into it. I did a lot of free gigs. I want to talk about being a gig artist versus a theme park artist. I am a gig artist. There are no theme parks really close to me. There is one great, Six Flags. It's now a Six Flags. It used to be called The Great Escape. It's up in Lake George, New York. Really good, but it is an hour and 10 minutes away from me. So when they're offering minimum wage as a caricature artist, I couldn't really see having a 2-hour commute. I mean, for the experience, I probably should have did it. But what I wound up doing is doing a lot of free gigs till I felt like I could charge, and that's what you have to do. I had a really nice person help me out. She's a face painter, and if you want to see my work, you can go to wackycaricatures.com. And anyway, this face painter lady had me draw at her kid's party and kind of saw, I guess she kind of saw that I had a little talent, and kind of pushed me to do it, I guess. And I had a little bit of talent, but now I learned that it's a whole lot of work. You got to keep working at it. It's like a muscle. If you stop, you lose it, kind of. So, yeah, being a gig artist, the gigs are high paying. Like, I'm up to 125 per hour. You know, a lot of these caricature guys don't even talk about the money or the business side, and I think they should. I don't know if it's a closely guarded secret, but I mean, you can really do well, but you're working for it. All the prep that goes into that. Yeah, I didn't start at that. I started at 50 and 60 and then 80, and then got up to where the guys are in my area. Versus a theme park artist where you're going to get a ton of faces, but you're going to be making minimum wage plus a little commission. So if you got a theme park near you, that's great, because you're going to be thrown to the fire. And that's what you want. You want to get the bugs out. You want to get over that hump of drawing live. You got to get over that. And on the other side of that is total freedom. It's a great journey. I highly recommend it. Some of the things I run into, being an artist, a caricature gig artist, you got to manage your crowd. I mean, my lines are huge. It's like impatient kids at like Chowder Festival. I did the City of Troy Chowder Fest. And that's the other thing. I'll get in. Let me do a little sidebar here. Being in upstate New York, as you can see if you watched any of my videos, I'm a big fan of Florida. Florida's like the caricature capital of the world. Upstate New York, the outdoor gigs kind of dry up in October. You know, you get the occasional. I never had a Christmas gig. I did have one holiday gig, but it just seems to dry up in December, January, and definitely February. Although I don't have any gigs. No. No gigs this month. So yeah, it depends where you live, if you're going to be busy or not. Back to the topic is the kids. They're impatient. The parents just sit them down, line them up, and they're banging your table. I hate when they push my table because I use a lap board, and some people use easels, French easels. Some people do digital caricatures. I just like a lap board because I'm in a relaxed seated position. I don't want to be reaching up to an easel. I just find that uncomfortable, and the blood drains out of my arm. So you got to manage your crowd. The biggest thing is cutting off your line. Here's a solution. Make a sign. If you're hired from 12 to 4, you put up a sign. Free caricatures, 12 to 4. So that way they know, you're done at 4. And, you're paid by the host. So usually, being a gig artist, it's free for the guests. I worked for the town of Half Moon, I believe, or Clifton Park, somewhere up there. And they gave a stick to the last person, which said last one. And they're really good about helping manage the crowd. You'll be working alongside face painters, balloon twisters, clowns, food vendors, etc. I never knew there was this much money being a caricature artist or being a vendor. Here's what you got to rewire your thinking and say, okay, now I'm a live entertainer. You're not an artist. You are an artist, but you kind of fall into being a live entertainer. And you know what? That's fine by me, because being a traditional artist, setting up at craft fairs, trying to sell your paintings, didn't work. It ain't working for many people, and it didn't work for me. So I found out that the caricature is very powerful and very rewarding, and both financially and going along your journey. So trying to think of other things. Try to go to the ISCA convention, International Society of Caricature Artists. I haven't been to one yet. I believe I'm going to go to my first one this year, 2019, and I believe it's in Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm looking forward to that. I think it's important that I go. And that's just an amazing, watch some videos on it. It's really cool. But being a live gig artist, it's about 75% business person and paperwork and 25% drawing. The drawing is minimal. So you need to be good enough that you can draw at these gigs and just put your brain on autopilot and draw. And then the rest is all marketing, contracts, W-9 tax forms when you have to do it, and paperwork. I use gigmasters.com. Gigmasters is good. Gig Salad is okay. So yeah, be prepared. It took me a few years to get organized. I mean, I had contracts flying all over. I had checks flying all over. I didn't know what was what, who paid for what. So yeah, we're more of an artist. Being a creative type, we're artists first and then businessmen second. But you gotta be a businessman first. So I hope this helps and get some people interested in caricature. I think it's an overlooked thing in the art world. It's kind of like the fast food of the art world. It's easy to say, oh, I could draw caricature. Once you try, it's like, oh my God, what? Why does this not look right? So you need to really practice. I mean, I could draw comic book characters and everything. You know, I drew the X-Men, Spawn, growing up, some Garbage Pail Kids. And when I sat down and draw caricature, I was lost. I was like, oh my God, this is tough. So you gotta get a few books. Number 1 is The Mad Art of Caricature. Number 2 is an older book by a guy named Len Redman. But get that. Also, probably one of my favorite books is a book called Rejects by Joe Bloom. So I hope you get into caricature, or if you're into it, you pick something up. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think about caricature, or some of your stories from the caricature booth. Some quick sayings that you're going to hear is, oh, my dad had one of these done. Or, hey, don't draw my double chin. Hey, can you make me prettier? Hey, can you not draw my son's gap tooth? Can you not draw my daughter's overbite? Can you not make his ears big? You know what? You need to get over that, and you need to please yourself and not worry about what they think. There's these people who draw really extreme. I'm not one of them. I do push it. But Tom Richmond said in his workshop, when you get into that, of drawing very extreme and abstract, that's something else. That's not really caricature. Maybe he's right, maybe he isn't. I think he's right. Some people won't, but I think he's right. It needs to be recognizable and have presence. So, yeah, you could be a traditional park caricature style, or you could push it a little, like Joe Bloom, where he dances along that fine edge. And I'm trying to be on that edge too, where it's cute, recognizable, and yet pretty exaggerated. You don't want to distort. You want to exaggerate. Don't distort, because you'll lose the likeness. All right, guys, I hope this helped. Sorry for rambling too long here. Hope you enjoyed the ride. Again, leave some comments and check out some of my other videos if you want. All right, guys, see you later. Bye-bye.